Not a fan of Nick Fuentes. Not a fan of Nick Fuentes. He does get a lot of attention. I think Nick Fuentes is a racist. Just 4 months. I mean, he doesn't hide who he is. Every now and then, Nick Fuentes says something that kind of makes you think, and that moment came. And this is about Erika Kirk. Now, I didn't know about this. Like some of this, I just didn't know. And after I saw this video, I said, there is just something weird here. Like, what do we know about Erika Kirk? I just did not know much about her, but I found out some things, and it's just weird. And this is not to say that she is guilty of anything, but it is to make you want to ask some damn questions. And I have questions, and I think you might too. Like the first one being this: I just thought it was a little bit weird that Charlie Kirk passed away just still kind of recently. And it was kind of weird to me that, like, she was making these appearances. I get it. She was at the memorial service. Obviously, she was going to appear there. But then I saw her on the Charlie Kirk podcast, and she was talking about the business side of things moving forward. And to me, it was just kind of like bizarre because I had a friend that lost their spouse. I had a former supervisor that lost their boyfriend. And you want to talk about grief, like they weren't trying to talk to nobody, at least for the first week. So it's just weird. And then I said, well, maybe people just grieve a little bit differently. But then I just kept hearing these things that, like, let's talk about the next step for turning point. And in my mind, when my grandma passed away, I was really hurt. The last thing I was thinking about is business. So it's just all kind of weird. JB said Erika Kirk moved on fast. Right. It almost kind of seemed like, I don't know, fast. Nick Fuentes pointed something out recently. Brian Allen shared this. Heartbreaking. Nick Fuentes is actually right about Erika Kirk. I didn't think the day would come, but here we are. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way too. I was like, is anybody else noticing this?
It's like, lady, didn't your husband just get his face blown off like 2 seconds ago? And not to be insensitive about it, but everyone's thinking it. No one wants to be the asshole. No one wants to say it. Everyone's thinking it. Everyone was thinking it when she gave the first speech. Everyone was definitely thinking it at the memorial. Nobody wants to say it because it's inappropriate. It's insensitive. I am the troll, right? So I'll be the one to say it. I think it's super inappropriate. I think it's inappropriate. I think it's weird. It's bizarre. Something is off there, and I don't like it.
It is very weird. It's weird. Now, don't get it twisted, because Nick was like switching up on things too. Because after Charlie Kirk's death, he was starting to say, like, oh, well, no, maybe we shouldn't, he was starting to switch up some of the things that he said too when it came to censorship. All of a sudden, he was pro censorship. People were criticizing Charlie Kirk's death, etc. So, yeah, you do troll. He does troll sometimes. But to this point, I told you guys, and at first I was kind of hesitant to say it. And I think the first time I said it was like, it might have been last stream when I was like, anybody notice things just moving kind of fast? Like, I just don't, I don't know. Like, do you guys know people that lost a spouse or a significant other? And how were they acting? Because everyone that I know that happened to, they were not grinning and smiling and ready to go on shows. And it just, they weren't thinking about business at all. At all. Let's go on.
but they're doing the Super Bowl commentators with the headsets on, doing a media table. They're selling merch, registering voters. They got pyrotechnics. Is this WrestleMania or is this a funeral? Like, what are we doing here? And then the day after the funeral, I'm getting 500 texts and emails. Erika Kirk here. I miss him. Every time I blink, every beat of my heart. Make sure to donate $5, $15, $25. It's like, okay. Then they're doing a show. Did you see the show today? And so prescient. I said it last night. I said, I'm getting like a fake vibe. Something's off there. And people say, well, everybody grieves differently. Yeah, I don't know how much mileage we can get out of that one anymore. Something's not right there. Very bizarre, weird vibe there. And did you see the show? Erika hosted the Charlie Kirk show this afternoon, and she's like, she looks like she's over the moon. She's happy as a clam. And again, who am I to judge? Everybody grieves differently. She's a very devout Christian. Some people say maybe that's just strength, that's resolve. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Because I have just never seen, I'm sorry, I've never seen this type of behavior. The last thing that I would be thinking about is, oh, well, the business got, I wouldn't even be in that right mindset, like at all, especially not just the fact of how her spouse died, the way that he died. I think circumstances do matter sometimes. Like if you know that someone like your significant other like is sick or whatever, and you've already been told that this day is coming, I think you have a little bit more time to prepare for that, but you still are going to grieve. This came out of nowhere. And so to me, I just don't understand it. I really don't. I would not be in the right frame of mind to come forward and say, well, yeah, let's talk about what we're going to do next with Turning Point USA. I wouldn't be thinking about that at all. At all. I mean, it's almost as if this was more of an arrangement. Was it? We'll get into that.
It's one thing if your husband dies, period. It's another thing if your husband dies at age 31, unexpectedly. It's another thing if your 31-year-old husband unexpectedly dies because he gets publicly executed with blood gushing out in front of thousands of people screaming and running away. That's like something that's altogether different.
This is one of those times where I have to agree with Nick Fuentes. Like it's just weird to me. And I was like, when I saw this video, I was like, okay, someone said it. We can say it. Because I've been feeling this way. And I was like, is it insensitive if I say it? But then, then more information was sent my way. And we got to give a shout out here, of course, to Nico House. We do have to give a shout out to, because he did a really big deep dive like into this. But first, I want to start with this article because I can't unsee it. I didn't know about the past or anything like that, but it's all been put in my face now. And I have questions, and I think you may as well. Check this out. Thank you for this article, sir. I think his name is Sir Escanar. Thank you for this. He put these pieces together, and then we'll show you the video from Nico. So like, America, the Erika Kirk files. So like, I didn't know all this. I didn't know that she was like in beauty pageants or whatever, but I saw that and I was like, okay, whatever. What's the big deal? But then I got to the Romania part, and that was a little bit weird. It says, meet Erika Kirk, Miss Arizona 2012, Trump pageant girl, casting director. Okay. Nothing alarming to me there so far. Now the widowed queen inheriting Charlie Kirk's empire. But peel back the traditional wife veneer and you'll find something darker. 2. She ran Romanian Angels, an orphan ministry in Constanta, Romania. Locals accused it of trafficking children under the guise of mission work. Exactly the model exposed in the Clinton Foundation scandals in Guatemala through Save the Children. So, why Romania? That's random as hell. People have to know, like in some of these countries, like Romania, Moldova, some of these countries where there may be a little bit more corruption than even what we're used to here in the United States, and nobody cares about these kids that are at these orphanages, there's exploitation that can take place. Let's continue on because this is some wild stuff. It goes on to say here, she started this ministry for orphans at 17 years old in conjunction with the US and Romanian military. Those Romanian orphans are exported to the UK, Israel, and undisclosed hands. Highlight Israel. Philanthropy or pipeline? Is Erika Kirk Romanian? No? Okay, just checking. 3, her resume writes itself like a honeypot manual. Trump's Miss America 2012, Trump-owned pageant, casting director, founder of multiple nonprofits with orphan projects, married into MAGA's golden boy after falling in love over an interview set up by Trump's team. That's not coincident, that's placement. And that's what I was trying to ask you guys. What if it was arranged? What if they were just put together? What if it was more like a business matchup? Like, for example, like Hillary and Bill Clinton. You guys really believe that Bill and Hillary, maybe Hillary, think she might have been more in love with him than him with her? You really believe that wasn't arranged? That wasn't like a business relationship? So this is what I'm wondering. 4, her father, DOD plus Raytheon Israeli division. Now, again, she can't help what job her parents had, but I'm just putting all these pieces together. We have the dad for the Department of Defense plus Raytheon, the Israeli division. We have the orphan kids coming from Romania, and one of the places that they were sent to was Israel. We also know, as reported by CBS News of all places years ago, that Israel has become a hotbed for convicted sex offenders. Or they can go live there and just chill. Connecting the dots. The mother, listen to what she says about the mom.
How did your mom choose Phoenix?
So she chose to move to Phoenix from Ohio because there was more of.
Sorry, let's start back here. Okay, here we go.
How did your mom choose Phoenix?
So she chose to move to Phoenix from Ohio because there was more of an opportunity for a female business owner out here. Especially from the standpoint of she was getting involved with the government, so Homeland Security and Department of Defense. And so she had other business partners that were out here that were already in that industry, especially from the standpoint of she was getting involved with the government, so Homeland Security and Department of Defense. She was getting involved with the government, so Homeland Security and Department of Defense.
So Mom worked for Homeland Security and the Department of Defense. Pops worked for the DOD plus Raytheon Israeli division. So if it is true that children were allegedly trafficked from Romania and some of them sent to places like Israel under this nonprofit that she had. When you have parents where one of them works in the Israeli division of Raytheon, and you have a mom who was Homeland Security and Department of Defense, do you really think that the government is going to hold you accountable? Or any of those people involved accountable? I would say hell's nah. Let's go on. Again, this is just weird. Her parents, prominent Zionists, her grandfather, Carl Kenneth Francie, vice president of American Banknote Company. Yes, the ones tied to secure printing and IDs, was Grand Chief of the Independent Order of Vikings, knighted by the King of Sweden. That's not some random traditional wife. She was wealthy before knowing Charlie. 5. Zoom out. The architecture is deja vu. Roy Cohen built the CIA sex kitten blackmail machine. We talked about Roy Cohen before on the show. He also had represented Donald Trump before in the 70s. And for those who are not aware, for whatever reason, during the 70s in New York City, it appears that if you were involved in real estate in some way, shape, or form, somehow there was some type of tie or whatever to the mob. There was connection there because a lot of times, like back in that day, the mob was involved in real estate. Roy Cohen came in to defend Donald Trump. Yeah, I've watched so many documentaries about this, that Roy Cohen came in and he was also connected to organized crime. If you read Whitney Webb's articles, her Epstein series, and read her books, she also mentions Roy Cohen and his connections to organized crime. Let's continue on. Epstein wasn't a fluke. He was a franchise plug-in. Erika's pageant to angel trajectory fits the blueprint. Why would a young multimillionaire from an initiated family become a Trump pageant girl? Unless Erika attended a Jesuit university, Regis University, located in Denver, Colorado. Guess who else attended a Jesuit school? Again, Erika was recruited into modeling. Her first pageants were Donald Trump-owned Miss USA pageants, winning Miss Arizona in 2012. Was she set up for Charlie the way Melania was set up for Donnie? Brought to the U.S. by Paolo Zampalli, we covered him before, a modeling agent with ties to Mossad, Epstein's orbit, and elite trafficking rings. Starting to notice a pattern here? 6. Even the branding repeats. Tate's Angels, the cam girl, trafficking ring. Romanian Angels, Erika's orphan project accused of trafficking. Angels, as cover for export pipelines of flesh on the younger side. Don't forget Epstein's financier Lex Wexner's Victoria's Secret Angels. Epstein had power of attorney over Wexner's estate. And we all know what those angels are all about, don't we? Questions, questions, questions. Charlie's angels. This isn't religious branding. It's operational branding. 7. Meanwhile, Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA, UK, launched at the Royal Automobile Club under Prince Michael of Kent, Grand Master of Freemasonry. George Farmer, Candace Owens' husband, sat as chairman, tied to Andrew Tate long before Candace. Controlled networks, every link in place. And George Farmer, Candace's elite husband, ties to Tate's angels to Erika. 8. Ask yourself, is Erika Kirk the grieving traditional wife or the CIA Mossad honeypot who just inherited the keys to the MAGA's youth machine? Did she pay her dues and rite of passage? Charlie's political machine didn't collapse. It was transferred, resurrected through his ritual death. Now, that was a lot. And I don't know, but I'm just going to say this. It's all weird. It's all a bit weird to me. I mean, again, I didn't know about these things. Nico House really does a good job bringing this home as well, especially in regards to Romanian angels.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Erika Kirk Romanian angel story just got even weirder, if that is even possible. At this point, those of you who have been paying attention know that the Romanian Angels nonprofit organization in Romania was created by Erika Kirk and her mom and ran from roughly 2011-2012 to about 2017. Now, there have been some suspicions and allegations that this organization may or may not have been linked to some sex trafficking that took place with some U.S. military personnel on a nearby NATO base.
That part you guys needed to know. Now we're talking about military personnel that could have been involved.
Now, once that allegation was made upon the death of Charlie Kirk and Erika taking over as CEO of TPUSA, mainstream media rushed to claim that it was falsehood, that it had been completely debunked, and I'm here to tell you that's actually not true. In January of 2020, Anna Maria Nasiu, a former Romanian translator, accused military personnel of having a brothel on base. Specifically, Anna accused Colonel Alder Busher III and his adjutant Lloyd Sparks of operating and facilitating the brothel on the base premises with underage girls. Now, Nusiu claimed that these activities dated back to 2011, right around the time Romanian Angels was co-founded by Erika Kirk and her mother. Now,
that part right there is really important. And don't forget, guys, if you may be shocked by some of the things that are being said, you're like U.S. military personnel. Well, don't forget there was U.S. military personnel that sexually assaulted children during the war in Vietnam. Don't forget about that. And had it not been for Seymour Hersh's writing, we may not have never known about that. That probably would have been covered up. So just keep that in mind.
Once again, you'll hear mainstream media over and over again claim that there is no credible evidence linking these allegations to that military personnel or linking these allegations to the organization. The problem is mainstream media is refusing to tell you why there's no quote unquote credible evidence linking the two. And the reason why probably serves as a valid explanation as to why Erika decided to do this nonprofit organization in Romania, of all places. You see, in 2001, the US and Romanian governments made a deal. Any criminal activity conducted by US personnel would be investigated and handled by the US government and the US government alone, which means if they were guilty of having a brothel, if that colonel were to be found guilty by the Romanian government or to be found suspected of anything by the Romanian government, we could possibly never know because the Romanian government actually has no power to prosecute him.
Not only that, but remember, if it is true that her dad worked for Raytheon Israeli division and her mom worked for Homeland Security, do you really think that this is something that like they would go and hold those military personnel accountable? Now, here's the thing, whether or not like she knew if this is true, whether or not if she knew that that's what was happening to those kids, I don't know. But what I'm saying is these things just ain't really it just looks suspicious. It's just really weird. And when you make the connection to the way that she just kind of jumped in, it was like, yeah, let's just, keep Turning Point going. And I mean, most people would not be ready to show their face. And she's on podcasts just speaking on like Charlie Kirk's show as if nothing happened. It's just kind of weird. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't you need time to grieve and time to reflect? Unless it was a business relationship, unless it was you are going to be with this person and you guys are going to help each other grow. I don't know. But all of this is just weird.
And Maria the translator accused the Romanian government and the US government of a massive cover-up. So I'm like, damn, Maria is making accusations that go back from 2011 to at least 2018, 2019. Maybe it's just a big ass coincidence and Erika couldn't have possibly known about any of this. Except in Erika's promotional video for Romanian Angels, she personally thanks Colonel Busher III, U.S. Army, U.S. Marine Corps for everything that he's done.
There's his name right there. It says, thank you, Colonel Busher III, U.S. Army. So she does know who he was and she knows that he was there.
For her organization. And till this day, she has not spoken about the allegations against Busher. She has not spoken out nor condemned anything that this base has been accused of since she's ended her organization. Despite the fact that her nonprofit organization worked directly with the soldiers on that base who were being accused. And this entire timeline of the accusations involving this base just so happens to fall right within the timeline and the window that she was running a nonprofit organization that dealt directly with orphan children.
It's not looking good, bruh. I'm telling you guys, like, it just does not look good. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't look good. Let's finish it out here.
And then she just stopped running it and never really gave an explanation as to why. Nor has she given an explanation how she got directly connected to Colonel Busher in order to get him involved with the nonprofit. But I'm pretty sure that has something to do with her mom being intimately involved with DHS, the Department of Defense, etc., etc., etc. And so not only does Erika have some questions to answer, but so does her mother. And how much does she know about the trafficking and the accusations that took place in Romania that were such a big deal there, a major story there, and yet they pretended and continue to pretend like it never happened.
You know what I was just thinking about as well? The modeling industry, which Epstein was very much, remember, he was very much a part of that. You know that from Whitney Webb's articles and books as well. The modeling industry always recruited those girls very young. 13, 14. I don't even know if it's modeling is what it used to be back in the day, but when I was growing up, models were always on the cover of magazines, and then enter the age of reality TV, and then you saw like reality stars or actors and actresses on the cover of magazines, and now influencers, right? So things have changed over the years. But I grew up, you know, there were supermodels, etc., but they always got those girls very young. Charlie Kirk starting Turning Point USA very young. Even what I told you before about APAC, how they try to get them very young. Parents, talk to your kids. Parents, talk to your kids. And Erika, very young. Because according to that article, it says that she started that nonprofit when she was 17. Talk to your kids, parents, talk to your kids. But I will say, I'm glad that somebody said it, because, you know, I kind of been holding this in for a minute where I was just kind of like, am I the only one noticed that she don't really seem like she really grieving like that? Am I the only one noticed that she kind of out here? Like, oh no. Yeah. But the bio there about her, like that raises some flags. That raises some flags. I don't know, man. We don't really know. We don't really know these people. So shout out to Nico, who is killing it. Has done multiple like deep dives about this. I'm just gonna say these connections are hella sus. Hella sus. The Epstein connection, the Romanian angels connection, I don't know, man. I don't know. Something is rotten in the state of Denmark. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.